check. Check. I am a little quiet. Try turning this up. How do I sound now? Still a little quiet. Now how do I sound? Okay. Oh, let's turn on the closed captions. That would be good. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Those are good. I think I am good. Oops. And also, sorry for the noise. Let me also plug in my phone. Let me see, what stuff do I have? So, I could learn regular law official or anti-object task force. I'm kind of thinking neither though. Like, I'm kind of looking at this and like, yeah, none of that stuff seems particularly good. Well, let's just go in here.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand.
Open
The lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open.
Let's go.
As you do, you hear the echo of the doomed commercial area, its black holes and dusty machines. Then the feeling passes. A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark innards of the church, as though rushing to fill a great vacuum. In the heart of the city.
Interesting that that would lead to some connection with the doomed commercial area. We may have to go back there and see what's what, depending on what we find in here. A strange stillness fills you as you look ahead. You should walk here, not run. Wooden figure looks half finished. Feels like it's trying to become one with the church. Why did that zoom me out so much? What lightning pattern you saw outside? Blackboard filled with complex equations. 2 decks of reel-to-reel tape. Portable Harman Wowshi tape recorder. Electrical currents. bowl filled with water. Live wire runs directly into it. That's not safe.
The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church anymore. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent. And
Wait,
then
I think I
it's
still
gone.
hear something.
Almost all of it. But for the faintest of hums, you can hardly hear your own breathing.
Stop
You
your feet.
produce a few
Hands.
muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total, somehow. Your
Yell as
voice
loud
is
as you can.
barely audible. Not a howl, but the softest of whimpers. It's unnerving. The
What's
lieutenant
happening?
points to his ears and shakes his head. Then he leans closer.
Can you hear anything?
Almost
The
nothing, and
church
it's
just
beginning to
has
worry me.
Strange acoustics, some engineering trick.
His detached tone conceals how uncomfortable he is.
Whatever it is, it's definitely real. Something
The
odd
lieutenant
is happening
doesn't
around
reply,
us.
but you can sense him tense up next to you. The orderly
Look up into
rows
the bell
of ceiling
tower.
panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead.
Let's try it. Well, we failed the check.
Just darkness without end. It makes your head spin.
Dark
Filled with
like.
vague shapes of woodwork. It's like you see your own face reflected back at you in the vanishing geometry. A strange, alien image that's supposed to be you.
Try
There's
to make
nothing.
out something,
You're dizzy
anything.
and disoriented.
Officer, what are you looking at?
Blink.
You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you with dark eyes.
Oh, hello.
Maybe it's possible to talk to it. Is that a man? Looks more like part of the carpentry of the building came alive and is now studying you intently. The crab man.
Who's
The
there?
man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. You come to the right place.
The right
Here
place
you
for
can
what?
receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of that bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
Sorry, I just want to check how it sounds on the stream because the dialogue sounds a bit quiet to me. So you may hear myself talking twice for a bit.
I'm put off by this religious stuff, he thinks. And maybe the ceiling climbing, too. It's all very hard to square with the lieutenant's own view of reality.
Okay, I think that's perfectly fine. So, in that case, I'm going to turn things up on my end to hear it better. Hopefully that doesn't mess up the audio for you too much, if at all. Hopefully not at all.
Hey, and what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
I'm a policeman. I need to talk to you about police things. I don't
Oh,
know anything
yeah,
about
sure.
alcohol use.
You don't know anything about alcohol use. You got it all under control, Way. I could smell the control all the way over here.
Okay, fine, I'm struggling, but you don't need to
Not
lecture
all
me.
of
I know
it.
what I need to do.
I was like you once. You don't know all the havoc Albino is wrecking on your mind and your spirit. Necesita parar, homie.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
Look at these crazies. What is this shit?
Uh, this is all well and good, but we need to talk about the unlicensed
The only
occupation
thing
of
we need to talk
ecclesiastic
about
property.
is how the mother can really help you, Holmes. This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
This Mother of Silence sounds like a serious player. You might want to be careful until you find out what you're dealing with.
You must
Never
be the
known
crab
myself
man.
to be a crab, but if that's the name you got for me, I won't stop you from using it.
Hey, it's your neighbors who came up with
I
this
always
name
thought
with
of
me.
myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and beams. It may be that I gotta work on my technique.
What were you before you
I
became
was
the
in a
crab man?
gangway, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone.
Uh, I lost my memory too, but I like it. It's like I get to create a whole new me,
That's
start
not
again
really
from
the
scratch.
point, I say. You gotta give yourself over to service. Service of the mother, that is.
Do you remember your name, sir?
The lieutenant is not particularly interested in this information. He's just trying to assert some control over the conversation.
Tiago's my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place amongst your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore.
My name's
That's
Harry.
just the
Extend your
thing,
hand for a
Holmes.
greeting.
None of that matters.
What are you
This
doing
is
here?
a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there, a way out into nothingness. This church was built around it for purposes of veneration. I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days, I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly.
Who's this
Oh,
mother of silence you keep
That's no
talking
simple
about?
question, I said. She is one who can be painted or sculpted. She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes, and no one ever will.
What will happen
I
once you
will be
drink from this
incinerated,
perforation?
but not destroyed. Finally, I won with the state of the world before reality began.
You sure you didn't just switch one
It's
drug
not
for
like that
another?
at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service.
Faith
I
is a
heard
kind of
that
drug.
before, Way, and I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night?
There are drugs darker than alcohol circling your system.
Let's agree to
I know
disagree.
it will take time. Don't sweat it.
I still don't
I'm a
understand what you're
seraph,
doing in the
Holmes.
church.
I sing the mother's glory.
It doesn't really make sense for you to sing if she's the mother of silence.
I don't mean literal singing, Holmes. This is the mother of silence we're talking about. It's the singing of a burning heart. You may be thinking, but fire crackles. No, Holmes. That's the material that's burning. The flames themselves are without sound.
How'd you even find
Hard
this
to
place,
say.
this church?
I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries. Up there, I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, way. It didn't belong to me.
I had
The
other
sinewy
questions.
figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
You've been here a long time. Do you know why the church is
Police
abandoned?
raid a while back.
Did you witness it?
Not really, or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything.
Some ravers
The
want to turn
ones
this
in the
place into a
tent
nightclub.
outside, right? I see them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab. Probably scared of me.
Do they have a reason
Nah,
to be
man.
scared?
They look pretty funny. And I don't harm no one anymore.
Though he used to, a long time ago.
So what do you think
Why
about
not?
the nightclub that is?
They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company.
He said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think.
Do you know what the other
Other
spooker
spooker?
is?
Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes.
So there is another person living in the church, and it's a viejita?
No. I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear.
And you don't know where she is?
That's what I said, Holmes.
How can you not know
Don't really
that when you
follow
both
her
live
comings
here?
and goings. Just see her typing on her computer now and then. We got different interests.
So you've got nothing else to tell me, how she looks, what she does, who
I'm
she
afraid
is?
not, Essay. You just have to wait until she comes back, or
search through her radio computer.
Okay then, thanks. So we got our information, kind of anyway. Maybe the radio computer has something to do with the radio computer at the place. You know the place. Ooh, new shoes. We can't wear the scarf because we need to keep the necktie on, but what about these shoes? +1 empathy compared to +1 perception. We do already have decent empathy. Sorry, I think. But it definitely doesn't hurt to have that laying around. Let's check out the computer.
A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on.
These machines sometimes harbor traps, he thinks. Alarm systems and the like. Let's be careful.
We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case.
Yes, but this machine looks just like the one in
It's
the
also
doomed
quite
commercial
similar
area.
to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model.
You're right, let's get out of here. We'll come back and investigate this when Kim is not with us. I think that's the play.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad, a dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel. Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among the snowdrifts, diffuse light falling on your hands from beyond the glass. The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye of what? Compassion? Remorse?
Compassion.
As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder. Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile, sundered by the crack. Despite the damage
we succeeded at that check.
The title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men. The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit.
A ruler?
More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate an authentic rule should it coincide with our time. An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office.
Sir Nightgaunt, welcome to the chat. There's one in office now.
We are alone.
Okay, when did she
300
rule?
years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi, she is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world.
Yeah, that's cool. For sure, this is my first time playing through, but this is a very good game. I highly recommend it. That's my no spoilers, haven't finished the game review.
Many things.
What else do I know
She
about
is
her?
a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene la Navigateur, Queen of Serene, modern-day Sir Laclay. Also, that she was gorgeous beyond beauty, draped in ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historic trivia? Standing under a long, slender form like this, dwarfed?
Yes! Big bummer! Boring history! Gotta keep it light, man! Keep it moving! Get fucked up instead!
Where's
The
this coming
past.
from?
It's a silo of sadness, fermenting. You should keep away.
Fuck this pain, Bratan! It's unhealthy!
Okay, what else? Was
Terribly,
she smart?
Women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous. It
Okay.
was on her advice that Irene Le Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history. The DeLorean era.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress.
A lot
As
more.
did we all. The lands of the Mesk and the Occident, and even far away Supramwindi, altogether 21 of the 40 mundial nations of the time, immediately accepted Innocentic rule, even before her crowning. In a city called Advesperaskit in Vesper Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already, her Theriers, the secret servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt.
She must have
Oh
been
yes,
beautiful.
she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Theriers placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by Secret Servicemen. One of the men in this Secret Service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human, but something else. Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves. The man was reported to have screamed at the Innocents. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology.
Was there something terrifying about
is
her?
a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it. But terrifying, it's a simple word. She was bad for humanity, and you shouldn't have started thinking about her.
No, was there something bad
You
about her I
already
want to
do.
know?
Although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her Theriers. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the Innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs.
What happened?
The Mesk state tried to detach itself from Innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb in icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes the color of the Pacentic, mare interregnum. Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her.
Lieutenant Yefrater, you've stood there for over 5 minutes. What are you thinking of, if I may ask?
She's somehow
She's
connected
been
to the
dead
case.
for 300 years. I am almost 1,000% certain she isn't connected to the case. None of this is, in fact. This church, the coast, this isn't a good place to get lost in.
This is
Yes.
Dolores Day.
I wasn't sure before, but this must be the DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez. It's called the Small Pinewood Church in some records.
You knew of
It's
the
a
place?
minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
What else
There
do you
used
know?
to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them, the 7 sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps?
A pang of guilt. The lieutenant is leaving something out.
Do you know why
I
it
have
was
a
abandoned?
theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces.
Who conducted
Well,
this raid?
Your station was involved, I hear. Although I can't be sure.
You're not
3
sure?
precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them.
I don't remember
I am
being
pretty
here.
sure it was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything more about it, why it was conducted, or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters.
If I was here, I should find out what I
Good
was
luck.
doing.
You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten. It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinez now.
I'll try this.
The shards
Okay.
glimmer in the dark. You see little pearls of light on the edges of the crack that splits the female figure. Something was written there. Remains of broken letters line the emulsion. What it's...
Okay. As enlightening as that was, didn't really lead to anything super interesting. At least not yet. I think rather than go back and tell the like ravers that it's okay to go set up their thing, I'm gonna wait until I can come back and investigate that at night. Because my concern is if I tell them it's okay to go in, they will like go in and like change stuff, and then I won't be able to come back and view whatchamacallit. So what else can I do? What are my open tasks right now? Uh, I think if anything, what I want to do here is keep exploring places I haven't been to yet. What's in here? Money. Also, what's up this way? Is it anything? Okay, this just leads to this place. Who are you?
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilerstein. You must be Kim Kituragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
Hold on. Hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He's just making up fancy words. This
Wait,
stuff.
what was that about the
Oh
windows
yes,
before?
so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
You and Kim know each
No,
other?
I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately. But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
What's so fascinating about
But
an
it's not
empty
just
old building?
any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D? It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
What's an R&D department?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore. You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mayor Kalpa, you are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
I don't think I've ever heard of this Felt
That's not
Electrical.
surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that
It was
ace?
here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. While Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management, Feld built this side of town for R&D.
You're saying that Feld Electrical built this
Yes,
boardwalk?
they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
What happened to the engineers,
Oh, I'm
the
afraid it
company
didn't end well
people?
for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers,
What did the
they
revolutionaries
used them
do
for
with the
military
advanced
communications,
computers?
but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
What was that?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album Bombessier dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
How did those tape computers work? Did they work like
Actually,
radio
no one
computers?
knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Womty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Joost?
Okay, the Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, Paul Ackerman, Keith and Guy Joost. What are you
The
talking
Womty
about?
Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
Kim, is he making
In fact,
this up?
I'm not. The Womty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Cool.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07.
Wait, the Feld
Yes,
playback
the official
experiment?
name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why did the revolutionaries
knows?
destroy it?
Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
Oh,
But
that's
of course,
something else.
what else?
You look like someone just
I do
has
have
money.
some
Do
money,
you have any
yes,
money?
but that's not what's really important here.
He's not gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling.
I don't want your money. I just wanted to see
Of
whether my
course, detective,
profiling
I wouldn't
skills
have
were
assumed
working.
anything else. Matter of fact, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying? No, thanks to you for
Thank
having
you for
me
all
and
the
Little
information.
Mikhail here to pick your brain.
Thank you
A
for
very
all the
interesting
interesting
conversation indeed.
information. Hmm.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Tomorrow is
Looks
just a
like
whisper
tomorrow
away.
never came.
Turn away. Anything this
The
way?
remaining
Oh,
windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years. Dripping
Try to see
water
inside.
falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase.
Lieutenant, can you make out what's
No.
inside?
I won't even try. You know, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
This partner of his, Eyes, things didn't end well. It saddens him to say his name. Don't even ask. He wouldn't answer.
Can you still shoot
Well
though?
enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I passed my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
I do think it's fun that we get like little conversation bits with ooh, if we can get either into there or onto the roof. It looks like there's or I guess if we can get into there, we don't need to get on the roof. 'Cause it looks like the roof just leads there, but still interesting. Can we not climb this ladder? It's probably like really unstable. Oh, we also could learn a new thought. What does Wompty Dumpty Dom Center do? -1 suggestion. What is my suggestion at right now? It's at 4. And I know it plays into at least one check. So I think I will hold off on researching that. I might want to at some point though.
There's some tear.
Okay. So nothing else on this sort of boardwalk. Oh, you know what? We need to go this way. So we've explored all we can here for now, but I'm definitely interested in coming back later, potentially. Can we not get into here? How do we get into here? Have to cross here. Little black swallow. Oh, this is the little town we've been in. So nothing quite interesting to see there yet. need to get, like, up somewhere. So we can't get anywhere here yet. Although if we keep going to the left, maybe we can. Oh wait, what's this? Presumably money? There's money. No boat. Oversized superstar sunglasses, you say? Savoir-faire. -1 visual calculus. Okay. Boathouse shot and constructed. Ancient paint peeling off the roof. Entree into the night. Old ticket taker booth. What's this?
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Look, Kim, even more bullet holes. Something's definitely gone
Correct.
down here.
The density of the bullet holes is unusual. Even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim affair. Meaning this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days. The
Why not?
manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
Unable to piece
Okay.
together the big picture just now. There's a hole in there. The scattering of bullet holes looks like one giant smiling mouth. Smiling its deadly smile.
Walk away. Let's see if there's more we can investigate about this place for now. Oh, I see. We have to go around this way. Road to tear. Ooh, we got alcohol. Palm hippo. Hippo. What is this? +2 logic, -1 perception. Oh, it's a hat. Compared to my just flat +1 encyclopedia, though, I don't know that I want it. At least not right now. Door is not only barred shut, it is inaccessible. Okay. Which type of check was this, just out of curiosity? Does it say?
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across
Okay,
the
it doesn't say. I'll probably have to check the journal. I assume it'll be down here somewhere. Visual calculus. I actually have a lot of visual calculus checks that I can't do right now. Or I guess just 2, actually. At some point, maybe I do want to put some more points into those blue checks, but for now, I think we're fine. Who are you? Are you the cryptozoologist? Hello.
Here we go. Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
You must be
To
Morel.
what do I owe the pleasure?
Lena sent me. She's been really worried about you and is waiting for you to get back.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the A81.
The water lock's been fixed. It was fine when I crossed it.
Good. We should really be getting back. Gary could use a hot shower and a warm bed.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we go in.
Tell me about this phasmid you're looking for.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
What makes it so difficult to find?
Question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators or scientists in our present case.
Sort of
It's my
specialized techniques.
hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defences that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defences work, much less how they evolve, without studying a live specimen.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid.
How big is this
I'm
phasmid?
expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So,
Seems puny, to be honest.
Are you so interested in the stick bug?
typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defences, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
Would be glory itself.
What have you discovered
Very
about it so
little,
far?
I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
No one's ever
Not
found one?
yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real. By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
Lena said there had been a sighting of it
Yes,
here in
the most
Martinez.
recent sighting was by a couple of teenagers along the coast here. That's what brought us to Martinez specifically. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Maybe the insulin
I have
has
to
died out.
resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
Parthenogenesis?
Yes, the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions.
That's pretty clever.
Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I try my best to remain dispassionate.
Tell me about these
Well,
traps.
They may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick.
Lena designed the
Yes.
traps. How do the traps work?
Simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel and, having eaten its fill, can get back out. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton.
What are you using as bait?
Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm.
What will you do if
They'll
these traps don't work?
I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought.
Let me ask you about something
Yes.
else.
What?
Lena seems pretty
And I'm
eager for you to return.
to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
Come on, Morel. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
I didn't know the phasmid was so
Of
important.
course
to
it's
Lena.
important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
Really? She sighted the phasmid?
Yes.
She didn't tell me that.
That's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious phasmid.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Maybe you could go back to the whirling, warm up, come back to check the traps later?
Oh, no. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. We'd do if the phasmid were to starve while we were sipping tea at the hostel.
He's dead set on this.
What if we check the traps
I
for
didn't
you?
expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
Cryptozoology and detective work are very
Yes,
similar.
Indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence.
Where are these
There are
traps?
4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them, you should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture?
Aren't you having
Even relative to
fun,
examining
Tim?
a weak old corpse, I'm not sure mucking about in the reeds qualifies as fun.
If you think it's important, you have been right before.
What do I do if there's a
Bring
phasmid
it to
in one
me
of
at
the traps?
once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
What if I encounter the phasmid
That's
in the wild?
highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Lay it on me.
Wise choice.
This is the smell of dying reeds, of longing crumbling into the water.
I hope you're not buying this. It dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
I'm ready,
Right,
let's get to it.
which means you two can pack up and go back to the whirling.
Whatever he thinks about this detour, It's clear that these men are exhausted and in need of assistance.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
How did you become a
I've just always
cryptozoologist?
liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both.
He seems reluctant to talk about himself, but he'll open up if you prod a little.
So you're living your
It's
childhood
not
dream
child's
here.
play, just because I have to traipse through the mud every so often.
Have you ever discovered a
No.
cryptid?
Very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid.
So how many
Of the
have been
list of
found?
cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemnee, which is 4,082 items long, about 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes. 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection.
Only 2 have proven to be
Yes,
real.
the Chateau
Well,
Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Grad, who is, honestly, quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves, more so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop searching.
the Phasmid will be the
Indeed.
3rd.
If our expedition is successful, every paper in the world will report on it. From Revachol to Dushantu. It will be a zoological miracle.
The hair on your arms stand up. Electricity. Sounds like reeds.
Thanks for explaining
Yes.
that. Let's talk about specific
Right.
cryptids.
What cryptids precisely?
You need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from Lena or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
Tell me
I
about
see
the
you've
green
been
ape.
talking about cryptids with Lena. The kind green ape is one of her favourites.
A warm wave passes him. Of course, the kind green ape is her favorite.
We travelled to South Safra to look for it once. Gary and I got stuck in a rainstorm, though, and had to spend most of our time there in a little village. The search was fabulously unsuccessful, but the people were very nice. I'm glad they didn't understand what Gary was saying about them.
What? South Safra? They're just on a different rung of the ladder, Morale. I had no problem with them.
Really? You kept complaining about how dirty everything is, but we digress.
They're a nascent culture. I just didn't feel comfortable. And let's change the topic, okay? Talk about your critters, or whatever.
Yes, back to cryptozoology. You don't...
Enough tails then.
By all means.
I'll get going. Soggy logs, smell of mission fluid, military blockades. I guess we'll talk to Gary.
Hello, I'm Gary. Very generous of you to help us out, officer. Yellow Man. I mean,
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly. Yellow Man. That sounds awfully familiar. Something...
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization.
Not a lover of the great
I
outdoors.
like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Nobody's perfect. I'm sure you've been tempted
Oh,
to drink.
I've been tempted. But someone has to stay strong for Revachol.
Serious question time. This man is no innocent. No one is.
Do you know anything about the man hanged behind the whirling rags?
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great, great to hear someone's finally taking care of that.
So you do know something about...
No, no. Nothing. He was some kind of
I
mercenary.
feel like this guy would
Everyone
probably
here knows
own
that.
Mug.
I'm just glad to hear you're looking into it. That's all.
Is this your mug?
My mug? Why would you think that?
You said term I won't repeat. That's not something many people go around saying.
Really? I hear it all the time. All in jest, of course. No offense meant to anyone.
You look like the kind of man who knows it's a crime to lie to an
Okay,
officer.
okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer. You're not going to find me, are you?
I mean, we don't like this guy. But if we find him, will he not give us information? The maximum.
Oh, God. 250? How am I gonna pay that? Okay. I'll work harder. I'll pay it off. I promise. And I'll never do it again. I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn Koiko's price dumping us out of competition.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law.
Here we go. Start pumping that sweet info.
How did you get into the trash
I know
container?
a guy who works with the trash collection services. CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez.
Why would you need to get into everyone's
so I
trash?
can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Hemians run it like a mob. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have disgraced myself.
Disgraced? No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash container.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Did you put the clothes of a murder victim into the trash container?
Officer, please. Let me explain. It's not like that.
Do.
I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know?
Okay, then what happened?
Then I came out to clean up the rags because no one else would. I put them into the Whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly. Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Civic duty.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads against one another as they roll across a hardwood floor. You've heard this sound before, but where?
What's that strange sound?
What sound?
That clinking I just heard when you moved.
Really? There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though. Insects, trash. Could be the wind shifting some garbage nearby.
Every day, the wind shifts the reeds and whatever was left in them. Tambourines and condom wrappers, plastic and glass bottles.
You didn't know
Armor?
anything about the victim's
No.
missing armor, did
I
you?
mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor, but I don't know anything about it.
Let's try Don't Mess With Me.
I haven't the slightest. There's lots of...
Every day, the wind shifts.
Let's move on for now.
I hope I could help your investigation, in my small way.
Are you a cryptozoologist
No,
too?
no. I help
We're surprised to see
not many
my
sealites
colleague
here,
Lieutenant
or
Kitsuragi.
anywhere, other than Sale. I meant no offense, truly.
You have a problem with sailing?
No, no problem at all.
Lieutenant is a native of Revachol.
Yes, of course he is. I was just speaking about his connections. Let's change the
Let's
subject.
try this.
Is he?
Okay.
He's looking comfortable enough. Maybe it was just beads.
Cross-dressing my
Why would I
lieutenants.
do that, officer? But, officer, I'm not...
Thank you for your cooperation. For now. I think I know.
That patch of
armor.
reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water.
Wait, I can't
You
see
don't
anything
have a reason
interesting.
to. Yeah,
What is
nothing.
this about?
Just a hunch.
Hmm. Well, that's the cryptozoologist taking care of for now. I could try to level up. If I level up composure, though, how many checks will that actually unlock? So if I do composure, that will give us three checks, it looks like. Let's try it. We have a point to spare.
I mean, officers.
Let's try this.
That shirt
There we
looks
go.
very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is ready to rip out.
Something going
Yes,
underneath.
like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that makes a clicking sound when the plates meet each other, resembling pearls or marbles.
I see
Stolen
you're a
from
connoisseur
I knew
of
you'd
high
figure
quality
it out,
combat.
officer. I'm sorry I didn't tell you at once. I was ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
This shame is surprisingly sincere.
Gary, what's going on?
Later, Morale. I've got apologizing to do.
No, you've got explaining to do.
Why did you really put those
Everyone
clothes
was
in the
picking
trash?
those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. And they'd scattered his clothes all over the yard. Everything was smelling. So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, him swinging up there, and I had a lapse of honor, sir. I thought, he's a foreigner. They all say he wasn't from here. Only the cuirass was left. So I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning. No one saw me. I took it with me. It was a mistake. Had I known it'd give you guys trouble, I wouldn't have... Fuck.
It's okay. It was a loose end, and you are tying it up now.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. CLI officers commanded the...
It's difficult to say what the lieutenant thinks of this historic apology. His face does not belie emotions.
Why did you lie to
Because
me,
I was
Gary?
weak. I should have told you the moment I saw you.
The hell, Gary? You in trouble?
I'll explain later.
Do you know who killed
I
the
always
hangman?
thought it was the Union. Some Union hardasses lynched him because of the strike. But almost everyone in town knows that.
Give me the
He
armor now.
sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man.
Are we
Yes,
done here, Gary?
absolutely. I will never do anything like this again.
Thank you for your cooperation. So, now we have the thingy. I don't know what to call it. We got the thingy. There's also apparently a trap by the boathouse to investigate, so let's do that.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread.
Walk away. Like they said near the boathouse. Is this not the boathouse? Oh, there's the trap.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet.
Look
Behind you,
around.
the ruins of a residential building. When this district was,
Reach the
locusts
trap.
are crawling around in the trap, confused but
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go.
No need to grin. I'm not expecting to find anything.
I
I'm
meant
just helping
no
some
offense,
citizens and
just-
getting some pressure. Even though we totally want to see some stuff, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of figuring that out. Well, let's check this since we're here.
This
Probably
is the
not
trap.
optimal. Look
the
around.
reeds by the abandoned campsite sway. It's good the cryptozoologists left. The later it gets, the colder. Remnants of the camp can.
Reach
This
for the
trap
trap.
is also full of panicked.
Another empty trap.
Are you enjoying the cardio, Lieutenant?
Always
I'm
up
quite
for a
enjoying
good
it
job.
myself.
Otherwise, would I still be on this case with you?
You did say there would be one by the church.
Winter, slow to let go of Revachol. Flecks some more wet snow from above. The snow
Look
falls
around you.
lazily, making the beach sand paler still. And to think, it seemed as though it were. You're
How does it
warm in
feel?
your hat and your coat. Like a well-equipped explorer, you comfortably survey the white landscape.
What's in the
More
west?
winding coastlines lined with abandoned buildings, crumbling piers, salt water.
And beyond
The
that,
waters turn black. Coal City in the shadow of San Martin, a boom town. No more. The coal was
what is
below
there?
the old mines. L'Océan Municipal, Revachol's underground cemetery. La Petite Ra braved the underground passageways, trying to get to Le Royal, where the
Royale?
Philippian kings were interred, with their doctors and their admirals. Mausoleums, burial chambers, leaf gold still remains on the double door of the morning.
That's where Kuno said he's
Yes,
gonna go.
to peel the gold off with his fingernails.
The
Children
petite
under
rats.
14, they go underground looking for artifacts to sell to foreign museums and for fabled relics.
Deeper.
After rubies, melchiorite, lapis lazuli, plundered from Safle and Seol during the time of the suzerain. In the burial chambers of the kings, Grand Old Philip, Guillaume II, and even in the mausoleum of Philip the Opulent. 2 kilometers underground, in a winding shaft along whose walls mirrors have been placed, so that daylight may eternally fall upon the richest of all. The mausoleum contains untold quantities of gold, and that special, purest of the pure magenta cocaine, favored by Revacholian royalty. Did someone say untold quantities of cocaine? Drop
Wipe the snow from
View
your shoulder.
Petila return from the shafts. Even all around her, white snow on the extinguished coke furnace.
What's in
The
the
canal
east?
you crossed to get here, and someone is scraping snow off their windshield.
That's all.
Like all monuments.
Sorry,
it's
I'm kind of
also
skipping through
all
this, but this is like
6-story ruins on the south
information
side
we
of the
kind of
mainland
already have,
cast a long shadow over the profligate
and also
king.
isn't
A
necessarily
fenced-off
relevant.
yard. There's a truck belonging to
It's in the north.
the abandoned church. Its walls covered.
And further
A
north,
serpentine strip of land weaving its way into the Martinez Inlet.
and on the islets.
The remains of a camp. Further out, the lights burn bright on Resurrection.
And the
Then
other side of the
there's
islet,
Ozon,
or the
but the
inlet.
snow falls too thick. You cannot see
Before that, before
the
the
Bay
curtains
of
are
Revachol.
drawn.
Vastness, great depth, and at the farthest reaches of the Bay of Revachol.
It's in the south.
The raised motorway, 881, separating Martinez from Jamrock. Vehicles whoosh past.
The pox.
Was once a park, a place for reflection and recoup. The pox
Sorry,
is
I'm gonna just
completely
kind of
wild
skip
now.
through this.
Evergreen.
But still,
Heavy drug users do slip through and hole up in the
further south.
a line of motor.
Wonder if Vic's found his heterosexual life partner yet.
Damn, I don't know. Even a real Bruderbund like that can't survive everything.
Around you, the snow continues to fall. To the west, the oceans.
No, it's home. I want
s-
more.
Snow falls on the utility district, the library, the florist, the sap. All of this built around a lake that. A
For
chill
what?
comes over you, crawling down your back.
What's above?
More coalition aerostatics.
What's below?
Layer upon layer of sand, poisoned with
Tell me the secret of
Someone
the sand.
stuffed a big old polar anorak into a concrete pipe under the boardwalk. It would keep you warm. You would probably never happen across it. But who knows?
Okay.
We should keep moving. Who knows when the snow will let up?
Where is Kim? Is Kim still with me? He is. Okay. Is this that door
An
we
old
can't?
door, worn by elements.
No, we'll walk away from that. That's probably a check where we need to like learn something about it first or something.
The
Look
reach.
around.
The wind picks up here.
Reach for the
Nothing
trap.
but locusts in this trap as well.
Empty as all of them. One more of these and we are done.
The lieutenant.
Yeah, I couldn't really think of anything interesting to say to Kim there that wouldn't already be the line of questioning we've already gone down. Or I don't know if it would be questioning, but same idea. So we've got like a bajillion nighttime activities to follow up on once we return with Kim to the whirling. If anything, I wonder if we could get him to leave slightly early. There should be... Oh, there it is.
It takes you a moment. The reeds
Look
bend
around.
forlornly toward the constant.
Reach for
The
the
trap
trap.
feels light and no locusts.
Look closer still.
Well, debate worked on something. This doesn't mean it was.
The netting is a little untidy, messier than the others. Like someone or something picked up the trap and shook it before dropping it back down on the ground.
I do get the feeling that someone or something may have
Perhaps all
messed with the trap.
cryptozoologists have competition in the form of an actual entomologist, or someone else is sabotaging them. I could present more theories, but then I would be taking this on as a case, which I'm not.
You're right, but I still
Okay.
need to tell.
But after that, we get
Cryptozoologist.
back to our own assignments. There really is no explanation for this.
So let's head back to the whirling. There is a thing I can check here that I usually can't, I don't think. Come on, is this the one that had a composure check?
If he really wants to save the economy, he'd
try
let
it.
you pay. Something cold grazes your hand. This jacket is the apex of human evolution. The practical, and yet it may deaden your senses to the world around you.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir.
Yeah, I'll
Gotta
take
prepare
that.
for springtime, right?
Just out of curiosity, what do those clothes give me? +1 composure, -1 shivers. Interesting. So one thing I could do is I think I want to talk to Morel first, just in case. But then if I want to talk to Renee, one thing I could do is put that on, like just put on all of my clothes that boost composure. And that would help with the check. Actually, I should probably be doing that more often. Just whenever I'm about to do a white check, put on all of the clothes that relate to that check as possible. Let's see, where would morale be?
It's great to see you again, officer.
Oh, we should talk to the wife first, I guess.
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you.
I was just doing my job, ma'am.
Here, I want to give you a small token of my gratitude. It's a tie, Mexican origin. The pin is an antique, quite special.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull.
You never told me you'd seen the Phasmid.
Oh,
Ramblings. Nonsense. Your description of the Phasmid is the most precise I've ever heard.
but darling, I didn't even get the size of it right.
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what...
Reflexively, the
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden...
Where was this and how old were you?
I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5 and a half in Betancourt in the suburbs. My grandmother had a summer home there.
she'd just started forming memories. Real memories. Not the...
What happened?
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. its body unfolded like some antique toy. I've never seen anything like it.
She had no fear, just surprise.
I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds.
Did you follow it?
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
Where did you go? Don't go.
Then what?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys, that sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel.
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insulindian phasmid I've ever heard. The sounds. She told me it hissed.
So that's how they met. This is beyond significant for them.
It did, yes. Like reeds in a gust of wind.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
You were on a date?
Our first, yes.
Limbs
Not
are
all of
white?
them. There is some white coloration reported, along with beige, where the camouflage ends.
How big was it?
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then, but that's probably not the case.
I think asking Kim or saying she might have imagined it will just like kill the vibe. So I'm not going to do that because that was
You're
quite
welcome,
sweet.
sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
And she could get up and walk right into the reeds on her own, into the mud, anywhere.
Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Now let's talk to Morale.
Ha ha! Nothing like the gratitude of a good woman. Now that...
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial, but inside, this man is itching for some news.
So I checked all the traps.
Good. Okay. And?
And one of them was empty.
Completely empty?
Surprise, tempered with fear and trepidation. He doesn't know what to think yet. Maybe you're joking.
Yes, there was nothing in the trap. No locust,
No
phasmid.
locusts? No phasmid either?
That's not ideal, but...
It just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
Of course, more clever.
You're dealing with a subject near and dear to their hearts. It might behove you to tread lightly.
Yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps. Make them more secure.
Another trip to the reeds.
Exactly what it
Of
is when a deft
course.
hunter this fast.
Be sarcastic. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture. Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude.
Heartfelt gratitude. But does some kind of foul play might...
Thank you, it's an honor. We should probably
Helping cryptozoologists isn't really a priority for our organization, is it? The lieutenant lieutenant looks out the window, impatiently.
Let's just try this.
Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed, as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person. Hands small enough to fit inside the trap, too.
Kids,
Locust
what would a
type.
child want with bags?
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
I'll talk to the little gremlin and see if anything
Delinquents.
comes up.
My favorite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please, let us know whatever.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play suzerainty. But no...
Really, Gary? We're
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave any... Morel, it's been fun. Really.
No need to apologize, Geary. You've been more than helpful.
The first man to break formation is always a blow to leadership. This is bigger than he lets on.
Did you know Gary was hiding
Hell
around
no.
there?
I had no idea. And I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not like him. He's got his quirks, but dishonesty, disloyalty are not one of...
I don't know what got into him, officer. Thank you for letting him off easy.
We'll get going. And then we should probably just talk to Kim about... Can we talk to Kim? Will it let me select Kim? There we go.
Yes?
Let's see. How do I get Kim to like engage the let's debrief talk? Do I have to go investigate like look at my house? I guess I do. Let's go do that then. Though I hate that I have to go through 2 loading zones just to like check that again. Hmm. wanted was... Now we want to go to the map. Could redo the Renee check, but...
It's getting late, and it's snowing.
Good night, Kim.
Good night, officer.
So we didn't get to debrief with Kim, though. Like, we've done a bunch of important stuff related to the case in the last few days. It would be nice to talk to him. I do want
An
to
old
check
mirror hangs
out...
on the-
Okay, never mind. There's nothing we can do with that mirror. Just out of curiosity, what's our odds of success?
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down
8%,
soon. I
even
can
with...
feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Let's hold off on that. In fact, the way I'm thinking we go about this... We'll go back to the map. We want to go back to the Martinet waterfront. Let's do the ceiling guy, or excuse me, let's go talk to the other guy, just in general. Hold on, there's a check we can do here, right? Padlocked door. They're showing that being all the way on the other side. Probably not actually this guy.
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a The star and
symbol
antlers
closer.
was developed in the 6th decade. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers to symbolize
star
also
upside down,
some, because
why
white
white?
is gone.
What does it evoke in
Gone
me?
is the glory of hope. Only the This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board said This door has been closed with a padlock. What are you doing?
Okay. We're low on morale. I don't like that we're low on that. Just in case, maybe I should save. Save, new save, just in case. This way, if anything happens that we're not expecting, we're at least prepared for it.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight. And his shirt is still unbuttoned.
Yes, the cleaning lady let me in. She also led me to your apartment.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you.
I don't have anything to
so
tell
many
you.
Questions.
It's my friend you're looking for.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered. Downstairs, a cat.
Besides,
he's going to leave you alone again. Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club, music blasting over the entire district.
It's promise we'll talk again. It's important.
Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
Very well. Interview the Sunday friend. Let's talk to the Sunday friend. All right.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
You shouldn't be seeing him in an intimate setting. For some reason, you feel this man is your superior. Superior, but he's not in the command chain. His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot. Yes, make it clear you're the one setting the terms here. Yeah, let's fuck with him. Who does he think he is? Assisting you?
Like, what could these have to do with anything? I think I'm gonna just get down to business. Like, I don't want to do one of these and then have them mess up my morale.
Of course. Let me just say it has been an emotional week for me.
You actually
I'm
witnessed
sorry to say I
the
did,
lynching.
officer.
Start from the beginning.
Officer,
if you
it's
don't mind.
very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
Meaning it was
No,
entertaining?
no. I mean, it was so strange. I could barely believe what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood I should not be seeing this.
Who were they?
I couldn't
Could you
see their
describe
faces
them?
well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities.
How many of them
I
were
couldn't
there?
tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
Were any of them huge, like 200
That's a
kilograms
giant
huge?
you're describing. No, they were all quite human. As far I went back
What happened
inside.
next?
Yes, back inside. Keep yourself safe from the killing.
So you didn't actually see the
Officer,
lynching happen.
the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man. All men, I
women?
presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
Are you sure at least one of them wasn't
It's
a
possible,
woman?
officer, but I cannot say with certainty. It was very dark, you must remember. I
What
believe they were
ethnicity were
mostly
they?
white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
What
Well,
happened next?
that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
What do you mean nothing happened?
Eventually,
They lynched the
their
guy?
shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
Why didn't you call the RCM?
You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
Can you at least tell me when
All
it
I
happened?
can say is that it was late.
Let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself,
No,
did you?
I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
Oh. Those are all my
Of
questions.
course,
Thank you for the time.
anything I can do to assist the RCM.
What's an official
The
like you doing in
coalition
Martin
is
Indies?
only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing
Ah,
here
well,
in this
I'm
apartment?
renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition fought. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
You're some kind of bureaucrat.
As I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
What is this international community?
La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
What
Your
do I
employer,
call the
technically speaking.
coalition?
The governing authority of Revachol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration.
What
It is
price
the most
stabilité?
important.
Doesn't tell me
It's
anything.
the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
How does this
Take
benefit
your
us
daily
exactly?
bread, for example. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stabilité works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below
but
2%
not
of
too
what?
far below. No. Too below is also bad. Below, but close.
You're not
The
answering my questions
coalition
at all.
believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles.
Sure, give
A
me a
sound
lead.
monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency.
I've heard about this moral intern before, but I want to
It's
know
the
more.
International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the.
Are you a moralist?
But of course.
Why?
Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
Martinet doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
No. Martinez is something else.
What about the rest of Revachol? Is it part of the normal world?
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim, but they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
Democracy is meaningless, Sam, so long as the working class is under the boot key
my
of the
friend.
capital.
But the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work.
And you're telling me this world here
It's
is working
moving
out well?
towards the right direction, and that's all that matters. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything?
Tell me about
What's there
Sur-la-Clé.
to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
What makes Revachol Sur-la-Clé's
Because a
darling?
great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clé's love for
Business,
Whatever you
talk about
wish.
something else. Can you tell me about your friend?
My friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters. Kedra is a
Kedra?
candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
What do you
That
mean?
it's never going to happen. They enter negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
The
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain accidental issues. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see. It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take
Okay,
EPIS
but
to
like, what does it stand
Why?
for?
It stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
What do the
It's
letters
been
stand
such
for?
a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to
Maybe hit
a
it with some-
supranational political alliance, the United States of Occident.
Going to be
You
like
mean
this place
Revachol?
here.
No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
Is Revachol going
It's
to
one
be
day
a part
going
of
to
the
be a candidate
EPIS?
member of EPIS, sure.
Didn't you say that candidate members never become real members?
No. Candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
How did you two
How
even
did any of
become
us
friends?
become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola. Oil platforms ablaze in the night. Civil wars lasting for years. Finally, the international community is
What
forced
are you
to
talking about? No one becomes friends that
Au
way.
contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too.
Still haven't told me who
Sorry.
he is.
Who?
Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just
But I
talking
told
about
you,
him.
officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
So all you can tell me about him is that he's here
He's
to study
deeply
arts.
enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Which
He's
arts?
a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
What are you
I'm
doing in his
just
apartment
enjoying the view.
by yourself. What view? It's dark
Listen.
outside.
The baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
Someone's baby's
No,
crying.
listen. The Insulindian Bay.
What about
This
it?
place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away.
I was asking
My
about your
friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see.
I had
I'm
something
all
else in
ears,
mind.
officer. I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
Because you
Because
did it.
He's clearly not a man accustomed to being spoken to in that manner, let alone to being accused of murder.
What did
Officer,
you
it's very
see?
difficult to describe.
Meaning it was
No, no.
terrifying?
I was. That's when I understood.
What happened next?
Yes.
You
Officer,
didn't actually see
the-
it. What
well,
happened next?
eventually their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots.
What
I'm
place is
afraid I don't have
Jan?
anything else. All I can see.
Mhm.
My watch. Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take.
Didn't
No,
actually
I didn't.
witness.
I'm
Just
sorry I
went out.
couldn't be of more. Hey, Mo,
Got on
do you
mute.
have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Why can't
It's
we talk
against
later?
diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving
Thanks
as
for
well.
the heads up,
Of
but my
course.
work here's done. I mean, it wasn't actually that helpful, but I guess at least we got to talk to him. I think what I really just have to do is talk to Hardy at some point, probably with Kim around, to stop me from saying anything I shouldn't. Hopefully Kim would stop me from saying anything I shouldn't. But that means we have been freed up to explore the night. So, where at night shall I go? We have 2 skill points. That's something. Oh, I guess we should... There are actually a couple of kids we could ask. So there are a couple of people we could ask. We could ask Kuno. I guess we could see if the cleaning lady has anything to say today.
moment.
Few
Off the way, policeman.
questions. That's all.
Oh.
Okay, thanks, I'm off. Nothing really to add. I guess let's go talk to Kuno first. Could also be the lady at the fishing village's kids, but we don't know that for sure. Oh, whoops, we didn't want to go this way. Let's see, I think Kuno stays in the yard at night. If it's not Kuno, I probably just have to wait until morning or something. Okay, Kuno is there. Can I just save real quick? I'll just save over this old one. My big thing here is I don't want to lose progress if we happen to drop our last morale or something.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad? Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Wouldn't happen to know anything about missing Locust.
Kuno doesn't give a fuck about books.
Oh my god, I told you that shit is lame!
Shut up, C.
Now they're gonna take you to lame prison!
She sounds like she's about to cry, out of disappointment at Kuno's newfound lameness.
What's this about?
Deny everything, Kuno. You need to lawyer up.
Kuno's not gonna say anything without his lawyer present.
There's definitely something going on here. Remember his pig's head shack? You should check it out.
It's interesting that reaction speed is the one that, like, sets up that conversation. Or that, I don't know what to call that.
All
Crawling
around
locusts,
you,
you say?
the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. Sounds like you found the locust detective. Heaps
What
of
is
leaves are rotting among the mud-caked towers. Dozens of little locusts feed on them. It's an ode to self-expression.
I should go out and ask him to stop then. Tell you what, while we're waiting for this to load, I kind of need a bathroom break. So I'm going to go ahead and run an ad real quick, and then I will be right back. And I'm back. Now, let's go talk to Kuno about these things. These locusts. I know you took the locusts from the traps the cryptozoologist set up.
Yeah. Kuno took the bugs. So what?
So it wasn't the phasmid. A wave of disappointment washes over you.
You say you don't give an F about bugs, then you go and build a whole bug town?
It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts. Locusts aren't just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Shit descends.
Stop!
You stop. It's like their fucking night. Locust City, Night City, City of Rage.
The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort.
City of Rage sounds like a cool place.
Wants to help you. Oh, that's how lame it is. Please just don't say you're
an artist. Maybe I am an artist. You hear that, everyone? I'm a fucking artist now.
That's great, Kuno. It's cool to make art.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in like 3 seconds. Don't let him, Kuno.
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free. Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
So that's what this is about.
Me and Kuno have discussed this. I promised I won't do that.
I don't believe you.
For once, the boy is lost for words. He used this momentary confusion to take control of the situation.
I need you to stop taking the locusts from the traps. The cryptozoologists are trying to find something very important. Those locusts are bait.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. C was right.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno.
I have to ask, what does the city of locusts
It don't mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus. Kuno likes to concentrate on shit. Build shit when he's zipping hard. Fuck. Pig, you really shouldn't have fucked with Kuno City. Now it's all fucking lame.
What's gonna happen to the locusts?
Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die.
Oh, dang. Now it's settled, I better be off.
The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
The Insulindian phasmid.
The fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit.
There's silence between the two children. They're not saying anything to each other, nor looking in each other's direction.
Let's see, are the cryptozoologists still here, or do I have to wait until the morning to talk to them?
officer. I think I almost have it. A new trap design, that is. I know you're skeptical, but I have a good feeling
I had a
about
chat
this.
with this kid Kuno. He promised to stop
So it
stealing the
was
Lotus.
just a child.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then
He has a 38-degree fever. His resilience has given way.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick. Maybe it's time to go home.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
There won't be a next season. Not for this. Find a phasmid or admit defeat, people.
We've come too far to quit. I'm gonna restock the trap. Let's do this.
Really? It's too much, officer.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
Here's a fresh batch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again.
Wow. Code, this would show them all. We need to get you on that
Going. Let's go ahead and we already did all of these.
Of course, dear. No. It's the
Wow,
oh yes.
encrypted. What is
the
this bird?
eight-eyed Teratorn, the
This is a
largest
new one, so I'm
flying
gonna actually
avian ever discovered, with a wingspan of 11.5 until it was sighted by renowned Gotvaldian explorer and naturalist Uwe Plattenkalk in 21.
I need to
It
read about
happened
this
on
sighting.
a botanical expedition into the vast and unexplored Oamrau Canyon in southeast Ilmara. Dr. Plattenkalk got separated from the world's
Oamrau
largest
is-
canyon system, sweetie. It's
What
alone
happened?
in the blasted desert heat. The doctor wandered eastward, where man hasn't stepped foot. He was lost, without any navigation equipment, and desperately low. Every now and then, the bird...
Eat the bird. Uva. It's the only way to survive.
Who's
Yes,
following it?
or rather, hunting. A bird that big has a lot of blood in it. The professor climbed up there with a rock in his hand. He found the bird sleeping with his head tucked under its wing. A great black pile of... Then, the Teratorn suddenly looked at him. He could see it had 8 eyes, 4 on either side of its skull, like a spider. And the man couldn't move. He was paralyzed. The bird was controlling his mind. It kept him from approaching. He could step back, but every time he stepped forward, paralysis. Uva spent 3 days trying until the bird,
What
the
did he try to tell
8-eyed
the story?
Teratorn, was indifferent to him, as long as he didn't get closer than 2 steps. It even let him feed on some carcasses up there, and the 2 unfertilized eggs it left behind.
F yeah.
Absolutely, sweetie. Cryptozoologists have been tracing it ever since, but Wamrau is vast, mysterious, and holds many
So that was the last
Sadly,
anyone
yes,
saw of it?
but there are numerous reports of 8-eyed bird skulls from Ilmara. And then there's the striking resemblance to the Pericarnass. This one's very famous. Yes, the Michanu disappeared short.
She
Yes,
injected herself
the
with
bacteria.
it.
Yes, and we can assume that she has been living somewhere in the gnome.
Most dangerous.
Oh yes, it was
What's it
a
look
couple of.
like?
It's still, alas,
Photos.
instead, all the venom leaked.
Invisible.
The Col
Yes.
de Mama d'Aqua. Like nothing,
sound like?
many scientists
And
have
maybe
asked the same
sound.
question.
Could it be here?
Maybe it's predator.
It's not
I wouldn't be so sure. What if the
plenty. When playing back the scientists,
she transforms when
they realize that
Wow.
sequester time. That is, they tried to.
this lady really should be a teacher.
They cancel each other out.
Great regret.
After that, the corpuscle appeared.
Interesting.
What about what?
Can't get
I'm
enough.
glad you like them, but I'm not really one to tell you about all of.
Now let's ask the husband.
Hello, officer. I think I almost...
Let's talk about cryptids
Okay.
some more.
Layman, you always have to prove yourself with this man, which means you have to provide the cryptids. Maybe he'll answer.
Formerly the
Melodrama.
most dangerous, yes. But do you...
He doesn't want to make it feel like you knowing it is some big deal.
The most
No.
dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant, known colloquially.
The dread
Yes, the dread moose subsists entirely on flesh. It has even been known to dig up fresh graves in search of sustenance.
Does it also attack
Human
people?
remains have been found deep in the forest, torn apart, then trampled into...
What does the dread
Just
moose
like an
look like?
ordinary ardent moose.
I can tell if it's the
You
ordinary or the
can't.
dread kind.
That's what makes it so dreadful and hard to identify.
I am 100% behind the dread moose. I utterly
You're right,
believe it
too.
exists.
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece. In fact, we may be close to capturing a live specimen. Modern genetic methods may prove crucial in differentiating the dread variant from the herbivorous one. Anyway,
I
Oh,
know about
everyone knows about that
Dr.
one. Thanks to
Catalensis.
Professor Mijanu being the talk of the town for a time.
A bit of jealousy there. He'd want that glory.
Although, probably because her life ended as a result of her work in Gutler. No one remembers her contributions to the search for the Nong-Ok,
No.
a flightless cursor owl. When it's not hunting its prey in this manner, the ok hangs from tree branches, like a bat. Mijanu liked it.
When did she disappear?
Decades ago, in the 30s.
Just tell me about a cool
No
cryptid.
Be friendly, dear.
Now the man feels embarrassed. Time to move on, perhaps.
Tails.
By all means.
I'll get going. I guess I could probably tell Gart about the thing, right? I'm also tempted to level up my visual calculus just because it has caused problems, it being so low. Similarly with logic. Let's talk to Gart.
Well,
Hey, was there something you needed?
Another thing. Okay, nothing else I can talk about. This guy in the jacket, like, can be highlighted to talk to, but nothing important seems to be able to be said. So, next step would be going down to the trap and resetting it.
was that? There seems to... Honestly, your ear, there it is. Yeah, it must be. Keep still. What are you doing? You're a police officer, not a pansy ornithologist. The only birds you should be looking for are healthy... Oh no. No. Too late. Keep your ears peeled, then.
Okay, I am interested in learning about the Mama Dakwa thing. I feel like this is probably going to boost perception. Maybe some other things. Either way, interested to see where it goes. So I remember the trap in question was this away.
The trap stands empty amongst
With looks into
locusts
the empty
dazed
trap.
from being They're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable here.
So what now? Now report to Lena and the Whirling. Sorry, let me reply to this. It would appear Lena has gone to bed. Well then, let's head back to the church, I think would be the next move. I should save, because we have done things, and then I will go to the church. Interesting, Kim's vehicle is not here. Let's go to the church. Let's check out that computer.
Hey, her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember? You have
What?
the Headless Falcon Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back.
What? Wait, who back?
Don't be so pessimistic. Love doesn't
I
die
can't
that
remember that
easily.
she's a wanted historical figure.
This isn't funny. You have a bad feeling about this one. So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and mysterious. This is surely what the figurines are for. The mother of humanism stands above you. A precious and complex wax painting.
It's like
Why?
I can't give this figurine to her because
That
she's a
does
stained
seem
glass
to be a
window.
problem. Maybe you meant something else?
Like what?
I don't know.
Task still on?
What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things already. Only a strange little sadness remains. The mother of humanism towers above you. Why? That does seem to be the mother of humanism.
Okay.
A machine stands in the corner. As you
Step
step
behind the
closer,
machine.
you notice fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment. Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the sides. Another filament memory. Press play to talk with the repeater. The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice.
Good evening. Votre accident on Saint-Brun. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio computer in the doomed commercial area.
Yvonne,
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
I looked inside the core, but the tape on the front said log
Please
February
repeat
through
the
March.
password.
I don't know the password.
Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Fortress accident.
I have two
performing
machines
due commercial area.
registered to this company name in Martinez. One on Sambrun. Anything else I can help you with? Sleep
Thanks
well,
for finishing
votre
the call.
accident.
The machine's keyboard is
Print.
nothing happens.
Leave. It's interesting that we can give ourselves a task that on the surface seems impossible. Is our friend in the rafters still there?
Oh, hey, Wade. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I meant the mother's love.
Have you by any chance heard the viejita say the password?
Too
to the
many
radio
times,
computer?
essay. You need it for something.
Yes, it's for a first
Don't
degree
sweat
murder
about though.
investigation.
The password is after.
That is true. But what comes after that?
What you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nilita. I think we're done here, essay.
Okay. He's just like, I've talked to you. That's all I got.
The machine's keyboard,
Press
the
play
speaker.
again.
Good evening. Votre accident on
Let's try this
Sambrun.
again if I can remember the right
Please
password.
repeat the password.
Afterlife death.
I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Votre accident. Is there anything else?
Thanks for finishing
The machine's
call.
keyboard, the
Press
printer
print.
prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal. The first
the print
entry,
out.
made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. 6th
the second
of
entry.
February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity. See? Even one of the spookers themselves says it's unnerving. What was that about narcotics? This could prove 7th of February, 51. Finally, got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking Eska series, something advanced. 8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna, had some problems setting it up. Called Simon for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right. 12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m., 25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics. A shiver runs through you as you look to your left, toward the silence. 28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the swallow is real, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence, with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected. March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work. March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinez of her. March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping Ping energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
I'm here on a side case representing certain music venue organizers and with the RCA,
Well,
you see.
You won't find any music venue organizers here. It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything. What is it?
Are you the lead programmer of When We're All Untethered by any chance?
Yes. Or no. Not anymore. That project is dead.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing
I
here?
am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
Have you seen the crab
Nope.
man? But you know he's
Yes.
around. Sounds like you're not worried about him at
No,
all.
you're right. I'm not.
Why are there so many
I
machines in
brought
this
them
place?
here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Why do you need
I
the
use
antenna?
the AR-1 as my RAIN prefix processing unit.
Wait, what?
RAIN prefect. My radio
And that antenna is its
Yes?
processing unit?
You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
Not really.
Alright. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
What's on
On
there?
the front, the unified front of radio waves, licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
And the AR-1
I
is
guess
a
it
good
is.
antenna.
So far, I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, but it's not the cheapest one on the market. So I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser won't. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
What are you doing with your radio
I'm
computer?
working.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core.
Working on
Could
what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point? I
What
really.
about those bowls of water?
They are
over there?
connected to my RAIN prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move.
Right, I'll not
Great.
touch anything. Next question. What are you doing in an abandoned
You
church?
really like those questions, don't you?
They're bloodshot. She really hasn't been getting much sleep lately, has she?
You're occupying a public space. I need to know what
I'm
you're doing here.
conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
What research?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said.
A hole in the world? What does that mean exactly?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing. What do you think it is?
1 second.
What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
Sorry about the wait.
That's a little above your pay grade at the moment.
I can't even understand how we're talking about something that doesn't
You measure
exist,
it by
let
its
alone measure it.
surroundings, by that which does exist, which is what I've been trying to do. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence. But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
But does it have anything to do with necroplasmic life forms? Ghosts, in everyday parlance.
Does it have anything to do with ghosts?
No, I don't think so. I don't believe in ghosts.
What about other supernatural?
I don't believe in them either.
How many know
Great.
necroplasma
What are we
exists?
talking about? And why? Ghosts?
She has already turned back to her keyboard.
Is the hole connected to the data loss
Yes,
in your journal?
that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
Do you have any idea where this hole might be
Somewhere
located?
underneath those roof beams, I assume.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark, most of the tower disappearing into the shade. Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Why there?
There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow.
This is where the crabman
I know.
lives. You don't think the crabman might somehow be responsible here?
She sounds mildly annoyed by this line of questioning, her hands typing hundreds of commands into the machine.
You said the research isn't going well, why
Because it's just
not?
trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact... And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let...
I want to know about
Great.
the whole...
Thanks.
How do you feel about hypnotic
What?
dance music?
I hate it.
Same here, it just doesn't connect, not
Maybe
disco.
I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
How do you feel about a club for hypnotic
This is
dance
about
music?
those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you.
What do they want to
Take a
build
guess,
then?
why don't you?
I'm convinced they want to establish a nightclub for hypnotic dance music. They said it's their dream.
I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you?
At the whole...
The Swallow, you mean?
That's all.
Great.
I'll let you work in peace. Okay, so I'm gonna get ready to sign off for the night. Before I do, in case you missed it, I will be moving Wednesday night stream to Thursday night because on September 1st, people are not going to be streaming for as a protest against everything that's been going on with Twitch. I will be participating in that. I will not be streaming on Wednesday. Yeah. So I will be moving that stream to Thursday. And then after that, I will be taking a week off to do things in my personal life. And that's all I need to share on that, but I will not be streaming for a week. After that, I will be back probably the Monday after next. But I will keep you posted. Follow me on Twitter for stuff. Other than that, I hope y'all have a good evening. And I will see you on Thursday, not Wednesday. Ow! Ooh, my knee. I am okay though. Actually, is there someone to raid? Is there someone live right now? I think. Yeah, let's raid somebody. I have never tuned into this person's streams before. Well, let's see how they're doing. Or I don't know, with the way raids have been going lately, I wonder if they would take it as a friendly thing, but hopefully they would. Okay, cannot raid this channel. In that case, I'm just gonna